Great to have you with us. In our first story, police at Diaso in the Central Region have until the end of this month to renew their tenancy agreement on a rented accommodation facility or face eviction. Officials say they cannot afford rent charges due to lack of funds. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin was in the town and sent in this report.
This is the current district police command offices and the old structures. The command was compelled to rent this building 2 years ago, but there was no office space to accommodate personnel.
Diaso was a station.
District Commander DSP Ose Eduajiman and his men had to find a way out.
This has so many facilities, and we realized we could not contain the old building. We put it across to the district assembly at that time, and they couldn't do anything for us, so we had to manage ourselves and then get this place. We met the landlord, put our problems across, and then fortunately he agreed and we rented it for 2 years. Formerly we were paying 4,000 cedis a year, and we paid for 2 years.
And that was paid by who?
Yes.
By who?
By us.
The police?
The police. The police administration. The district police command.
Paid it?
Yes, they are here. They are the police. It is not the police administration, or they are the police.
Meaning the money was coming from individuals, not the government?
Not the government. If you are a friend, I'll tell you my problem. And those benevolent ones sometimes, oh, take this 1,000. Let me assist you 500 cedis. And then sometimes we also supplement our own money. And we are able to rent this place, renovate it, paint, and put all these things here. All these things that you see in this office is not from the government's coffers.
The tenancy agreement expires this month, and that leaves the command in an uncertainty.
Now, our tenancy will expire this October. About 2 months ago, myself and my sergeant here, Dixon, we approached the DC unofficially and told them that this is our problem. Now, can you do anything for us? They say, oh, just meet the landlord and then negotiate for the new tenancy and then put it on paper and bring it. The district assembly will assist in paying that rent for you. Landlord about 3 weeks ago, and then we arrived at 6,000 cedis a year, and for the 2 years will be 12,000. So we are yet to put a letter to the district assembly and then, as he promised, find a response.
So
whether or not personnel will continue to occupy the facility will be at the discretion of the property owner.
Away from that story, 15 fuel tankers have been gutted in a tanker yard at Kpone in the Greater Accra region. Fire officers spent the entire night putting off the fire. Ellis Robinson Oko is the head of public relations of the Ghana National Fire Service. He joins us on the phone with more. Good afternoon, sir. Many thanks for your time.
Good afternoon.
When did the fire start?
Well, the fire started around 19-16 hours yesterday night.
That's 7:16 p.m.
Yeah.
Do we know what started the fire?
No, the cause of the fire is not yet known.
How widespread is the damage?
Yes, we are talking about 10 tankers, 2 partially bent, 10 tankers bent, 2 partially bent, a Toyota 4x4 vehicle also bent, a bulldozer, boxes of car batteries, boxes of tiles, and an office.
That's a lot of damage. Did any of the fuel tankers have fuel in them?
Pardon me?
Did any of the tankers have fuel in them?
Yes, the initial one that started burning had fuel in it.
Oh, so it was a tanker that had fuel in it that started burning?
That started.
How long did it take your officers to completely put the fire out?
Yes, in fact, this morning by 6:28, we had extinguished the fire.
So it took you close to 12 hours?
Exactly.
Were there any casualties?
Fortunately for us, we didn't have any casualties.
Were there people in the office at the time the fire started? This was 7:16 p.m.
few people, but they were able to run to safety before, it got out of hand.
So what's the situation at the moment?
At the moment, we have been able to extinguish the fire or douse it, and our men are on the ground trying to figure out the cause of the fire.
Great. So how secure is this location now?
No, now we have been able to extinguish the fire. There's no cause of alarm, and our men are there to get to the bottom of the cause of the fire.
How soon do you reckon that the OMC can resume work?
The extent of damage is massive, and so they would have to do some, salvaging and some clearing of the place before they can resume work. Yeah.
But when would your men hand over the sites to them finally?
As I speak to you now, they are only doing investigations, and I'm very, very sure by tomorrow, they'll hand over the place too.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, away from that story, more than 10 farming and fishing communities in the North Dai district of the Volta region have been cut off from the rest of the region due to poor road network. Unmorchable roads mean farmers in Wusuta Kpone, Tong and other communities are unable to transport their produce to market centers as commercial drivers refuse to ply the roads. The situation has affected healthcare delivery as the only chips compound is on the verge of collapse. Ivy Setoji visited the area and came through with this report.
Erosion has not only eaten away portions of the only main road linking these communities, but also forced the dusty, bumpy road to develop gullies. The only chip compound in Wusuta Kpone has not been spared. A facility that used to record 40 outpatient visits daily now attends to only 15. Wusuta Kpone Market, which was the backbone of the local economy in the area, attracted traders from both within and neighboring towns. The once busy market is a pale shadow of itself, while weeds take over the center. Traders and motorists no longer ply their trade around this area.
Obo ko mo ko dale paper di be wa wo mo ni le wo am la sun po hu na government ke ba wa we hu mo lo wo mo e na be petrol le mi bo valege ha petrol ha ma ga ba mo mota e do no ko petrol ko gbe no ba do su ta mi du gamela ke obe mo mo nyo ko gbu petrol ko ju ya mo bo gbe e na be mi am yo mi le je le toji de ba mi le pupa mi ko.
Poor road network has left tons of farm produce and fish to rot. Frustrated farmers, fishermen and fishmongers say there is no solution in sight. DC for North Dai, Edmond Kujo Atta, says government is committed to improve roads in the area to improve the local economy. Ivy Setoji's report for JoyNews.
Now, that district chief executive whose name you just heard, Edmond Atta Kujo, spoke earlier to Enimwa Enimado. He says work has begun to fix the roads.
Road network in North Dai is not as bad as the picture has been painted. However, I am aware of portions of the road network that are not good. We see today between Wadamahe, that's Akukuma Wadamahe, but it was not the case. As I speak to you, we have contractors on the road who are working on that assiduously, and vehicles are applying to some length. That's what we have done so far. In fact, I took a personal decision. This is a Koko road, and I was with the CEO and deputy CEO who have done a lot, and they've been able to help me bring the contractor back to site, and we're working on that. My regional minister, Honorable Dr. Achibo Yaolecha, was with the Minister of Roads, and I can tell you on authority that the director of Federal Road has even signed, and pretty soon you are going to see advertisement of that road. Indeed, I think this is the most deplorable road in the constituency or the district, so to say. And coincidentally, this is where I come from. And so you should know that I'm not going to sit down my house until we get this road constructed. And we are working fervently on that.
Away from that, the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry has indicated that government has improved security at the country's borders with the introduction of Operation Conquest. He said by next year, there would be a policy to build permanent infrastructure to improve security. The Interior Minister was in the northern region to interact with some agencies under his ambit and also learn firsthand their challenges.
To the media after a tour of some institutions in the metropolis, the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry hinted that by next year there will be a policy to develop infrastructure at the country's borders.
The President is committed to making sure that border security is enhanced. For now, what we are doing is having Operation Conquest Fist to take care of the present situation, in which we have the army, the police, immigration, and other intelligence agencies working together. So we've boosted the security at the border. But moving forward, we want to have a more permanent infrastructural setup in such a way that will make our borders less.
The minister's first point of call was the Regional Coordinating Council, where he met with the regional security team. He assured Ghanaians the president's commitment to ensuring that Ghana is peaceful was not just a talk shop. Mr. Derry's next stop was the National Disaster Management Organization, NADBO, where he tasked them to be a proactive institution in averting disasters in the country.
But yes, we acknowledge that you need some equipment. Although we are doing the dredging, if you have some equipment, you can also deal with the smaller area challenges. But what we want you to do as NADBO is to be proactive, to advise people on how to prevent disasters.
His next destination was the regional police headquarters, where he promised government's commitment to continue to build a capable human resource of the police. The Northern Regional Police Commander Timothy Yosabonga raised concerns about the car snatching phenomenon in the area.
Honorable Minister, the Northern Region Police Command, with its officers and men, we are ready to serve. We will not disappoint you. We will continue to work hard to sustain the peace and the security that the good people of this region are enjoying. The region is generally peaceful, but of late we have some crimes emerging in this region. That is car snatching. About 2 months ago, this type of crime is alien to this region.
Now, did you know that the corn dough you use for your banku is possibly mixed with lime? Well, yesterday, the environmental health officers uncovered some substances that our traders and food vendors add to food to either preserve or add color to the food. Worst of it was that all the traders and millers the team found today either had their health cards expired or non-existent. Nancy Emefa-Jodosi was with the team and has a wrap of all the activities.
And public health, food safety. And today we are going into the market to inspect all the food products that is being processed from the market here for sale. We'll be entering the corn mills, we'll inspect the flour, whatever product they do, a pepper flour, tomato flour, and they have some composition that they do, mix it up to grind and then sell. We want to see how safe it is for public consumption.
Inspector Joseph Asetanga there, telling what the team will be looking out for. But what they found was shocking. First stop, the pepper mill. Even before the team will uncover filth, he confessed to not having a health card.
So have you undergone AMA medical screening to obtain your health certificate?
Yeah, once one of the AMM man came here to come and inform us to go and do it.
Inform you to go and do it?
Yes.
And have you done it?
No, we have not done it, but I've given my particulars, everything to her.
No. What have you given out?
He said he's going to do it for us.
No. The AMA health certificate, we don't do it for somebody. You come there for us to take samples of yourself. And based on the samples, we send it to lab for analysis. And that will qualify you to be issued with the card. So if somebody say he is collecting your particulars to go and do the health certificate for you, it means there is some compromise on what you are going to do. You yourself, you are compromising what you are supposed to do.
When we entered, cockroach-infested mill with wires hanging loosely got the inspector disturbed.
Can you see cockroaches all over? So you blend this thing with cockroaches all over. So if we're going to put off this place, put it off in use. Yeah, that is what we're going to do. Because no, that's it. Today we are going for all of you, because if you don't meet the standards that you are supposed to operate here, we will not allow you to operate. So we are part of to close the place, please. Okay. So you close the place, then you do all the provisions that we will be directing you to do. After you are done, then we come and inspect. If we accept the standard, we allow you to operate.
Just when he ordered the team to shut down the business, Joseph Asitanga discovered a polythene bag that contained what appeared to be red seeds.
So if you want to grind pepper, you add this pepper and grind. Everybody in this world, everywhere they use it. I just want to understand so what
how safe is it? How safe? Who has authorized this thing as a safe product for you to mix it to produce?
Oh, we are selling in the market.
Simultaneously, the team impounded a sack full of these mysterious seeds from this woman who also didn't have a health card.
Mostly market women add it to pepper and tomatoes. Sometimes we see them milled fresh tomatoes and they are selling, and the color is so red. This is what mostly they add to it, and even the pepper.
We moved from pepper to the corn mill, only to find the corn mixed with lime. The operators were divided over the purpose of the lime.
They've added these things into the corn to also grind. I don't know why it's been added. What is the purpose of adding this into the corn?
To do, you tell us,
we are interested. You educate us.
Is it the woman who has been doing that, or you?
The corn which you pour on the water, the scent comes to the inside. That's why we use this one, so that the corn will never be sent.
So when you add this into the corn, it doesn't smell like it.
It doesn't smell.
If you don't do this, it smells bad, right?
Yeah.
But since you said if the corn is spoiled, that is why you add this. If the corn is dirty. It's dirty. Yeah. So this will clean the dirt.
Even worse, the entire place was covered in dust and decorated with very dirty clothes.
Look at this. This is food house. You produce food here. Look at how you hang your clothes. Is it nice? Answer us. Is it good?
No.
Why is it not good? Why is it not good? Because of contamination, we've been telling you, don't be hanging clothes here. This is not your bedroom. Is this a bedroom? Then why do you hang your clothes? It's a what?
It's a mistake.
It's a mistake.
The officers ordered a shutdown.
Now we will stop you from operating right now and clean the place before we will allow you to operate.
The fufu pounding mill was the next point. The operator's health card had expired, and the fufu was also left uncovered. The room was also covered in dust and cobwebs. What the team didn't know, however, was these mills had channeled their liquid waste to this drain. The drain has become a cocktail of feces, pepper, fufu in a floating pot of plastics. But they accused some young men in the market defecating in the drain. Mr. Asitanga gave all the traders 3 days to clear the mess before reopening their businesses.
In the interim, we brought the executives here. We have given them 3 days to clear all the waste at this place.
Florence Kuchi is the public health director of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
They are really eating things in Accra, so I'm advising that people should start preparing food in their homes.
The team had seen enough for the day, but we will be back.
A food scientist at the Food and Drugs Authority, Kofi Isel, said the latest discovery is new to the authority, but they will intensify their surveillance in the various markets and apprehend offenders. He, however, urged the public to be extra vigilant when buying foodstuffs from the market. He spoke to my colleague, Enimwa Enimado.
It's the fact that because these are not normal protocol that you carry out on the product, we have people who are packaging condoms, which we analyze. And when I'm analyzing condoms, my biggest concern will be the presence of mycotoxins, aflatoxins, and the like, which is responsible for some liver cancers. But to test it for life, it is not part of the protocol. And so you will hardly test for presence of other adulterants, like Lyme and these other things. And I need to understand, why are they hiding the Lyme? Okay, the addition of the Lyme itself, if it doesn't even present any food safety risk, is that a natural way of preserving the food? Probably we need to beef up our game when it comes to public education and the national support that we extend to the informal sector, so that some of these things will not be entertained. And let us also say that the retailers themselves, are opening up themselves up for rejection of these commodities. If these are the things that they are going to do. These days, you see much more people buying pre-packaged pepper and all that, because those who are doing the pre-package go through the routine analysis. FDA is able to assess their activities much more than the informal sector. And so we want to advise our friends in the informal sector, and this we do through our usual interaction with the market commodity queens and then the market groupings and all that we have. We have a department in the office that engages them virtually every week, different groups, talking to them and then trying to help them to, address these challenges. We have been able to, overcome the challenges of the palm oil. Now this is also coming up, and I think that we will have to take a look at that sector again. In terms of, advising consumers and what have you. It is very, very difficult. You and I, if I go to Amboglushi today and I'm going to buy agbulima, cassava dough, if anybody has added anything to it, I'll not be able to tell. Yeah. It is only when I have bought it. And so it is through the public education, the continuous and consistency in the public education, and probably review the approaches that we currently have for the informal sector, so that we can come up with more and more robust public education program also for the consumer. The only way we can protect ourselves is when we engage and we talk. We will up our game, but we expect the consumers to also do their bit in order to safeguard our health.
Now, widespread public outrage on controversial sexuality education inclusion in curriculum shows Ghanaians are not ready for importation of any alien culture. That's according to Chairman of the Peace Council, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante. The Education Ministry has been under intense pressure over the last week to back down on any plans to roll out CSE in schools after it emerged it was included in the teacher resource packs, contrary to the minister's earlier pronouncements. The Peace Council chairman has been speaking to JoyNews on the sidelines of an IDEC public conversation in Accra.
It is good that Ghanaians reacted, whether the news was factual or not. When they heard that CSE was going to be introduced, they reacted. It tells you that Ghanaians have values. We have a culture, and we are not ready to go to do what the other people are doing in their countries. Canada, which is a Western country, has even rejected the CSE. And there are some other countries who have done that. And the little that Ghanaians have done, whether it was factual, the news that came around was factual or not, says that Ghana is not ready for it. And the minister has come out to say, fine. So the thing is not on. It's not something that is to be done. I think we should let sleeping dogs lie.
He's however urging a detailed stakeholder engagement, including the clergy, to chart out appropriate ways of sex education in schools, bearing in mind the values of the country.
Said that. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have, sex education. But if we're going to have sex education, what kind of sex education? There is the need for us to bring stakeholders together. Clergy people, academics, people who are well-versed in our culture, who understand sexuality, to come together to write some material that will reflect our ethos. Also mindful of the fact that we live in a global community, because you're not just going to educate your own people pretending that we are not living in a global community, because our children know more than we do when it comes to these things. They have access to the internet. That's the reason why I think that sex education now should not just be something that should target only children, but we should also target parents who are also agents of socialization in the home, so that they will be able to guide their children in the use of internet, the onslaught of the internet on them.
Still live on Joy News today. Get closer to the breasts of your wife and stop chasing breasts outside your home. That's the advice from the president of Breast Care International, Beatrice Wiafia-Dai. According to her, if men could assist their wives detect lumps in their breasts, something could be done for early treatment of breast cancer. She was speaking at a breast cancer screening and sensitization at Infantsman Girls and Agri Memorial Senior High School. Richard Kojonyako has more.
Thousands of women across Ghana continue to live with breast cancer. While many are ignorant of what's wrong with them, others who know resort to prayer camps and herbal concoctions as answers to their predicaments. In 2010, 2,060 women were diagnosed with breast cancer in Ghana. Fast forward to 2018, the figure has increased to 4,650 women who've been diagnosed with the disease. President of Breast Care International, Dr. Beatrice Wiafia-Dai, who has been sensitizing and screening students in second cycle institutions in the central region, wants men to help women deal with breast cancer issues.
Sucking the breast cannot prevent the woman from getting breast cancer. And some people are saying you have to suck out the breast cancer. How? One thing that I've been advising men is for them to play towards the breast. A lot of married men have stopped going to their wives' breasts. They would rather go and look for breast outside the home to play with. They should go to their wife's breast, because some women are hiding things from their husbands. They don't want their husbands to leave them and leave their children with her. And so they would rather keep the problem to themselves. That's not healthy. So the men should play towards the breast, so that if there's a lump, if the woman is hiding something, you will also be able to identify it, find it, because you married her without any lump in the breast. So if something appears, you should also be able to find it and advise her to go to the hospital.
Dr. Wiafia-Dai is also asking women and their families to desist from sending issues of breast cancer to herbal centers and prayer camps.
We are just advising our women that breast cancer cannot be healed in the prayer camp. We want our women to understand that the prayers should be used to help the treatment that we are doing in the hospital. So first go to the hospital and ask your pastor to pray for you. We don't want to be losing the women the way they are going. A lot of women are dying prematurely, needlessly. And breast cancer is affecting the black woman at a younger age.
October every year has been declared as a Pink Month, a period dedicated to creating awareness about breast cancer around the world. The month-long celebration will place premium on the disease in Ghana and around the world. Richard Kojonyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.